Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bright Connections. I am BK. Joining me this week, good friend Will. Will, how you doing?
Good, Brian. Thanks for having me back on. I'm excited to be here.
You bet, you bet. It's good to be back, huh? It's good to see Bright Connections back. And one of my favorite guests, one of my good time buddies. We love talking all about sports and Marvel and all the places he goes to and all the places I go to and everything. So it's always a joy to have Will on with me to share some brightness, So speaking of places visited, I know you just got back actually today, like just about 15 minutes ago or so, from visiting some place. You want to tell us about that? Well, where were you at?
Yeah, I went up to Indiana, Pennsylvania to go to the Jimmy Stewart Museum. I wanted to check that out. It's been on my bucket list for a while, and Indiana's not too far away. It's just one of those things I never made it out there. But Jimmy Stewart is one of my favorite actors of all time. Just seemingly like an all around good guy. He was in the Air Force, won a ton of medals. So, it being 4th of July tomorrow, I felt like it was a good time as any to go up and check it out.
Right, right, absolutely. So Jimmy Stewart, like what other stuff was at the museum? Like what kind of stuff was there?
They had his Air Force medals. They had a lot of different props from some of his movies. They had different awards that he's won over the years. Different signed posters, a lot of memorabilia for like when he was younger. So he grew up in Indiana, so they had like a
Okay.
bunch of like things from his youth. But just a fascinating story. I mean, he was for those who don't know, he was a big time movie star. Um, and he's very well educated. He graduated with honors from Princeton. Decided he wanted to go into the movie business. Did that. World War II comes around, and he had already been a commercial and private pilot. And his family had a rich military history, so he left his movie career behind or put it on pause. Went to
Yeah.
the it wasn't the Air Force at that time; it was the Air Corps, and he served actively. He made sure that he wasn't treated differently because of his celebrity status. So he was, on actual missions and
Yeah.
really doing his best to help out. Came back. His first role was "It's a Wonderful Life," which I'm sure many people are familiar with.
I would think so, yeah.
And from there, it boosted his stardom even higher. And he just continued to be very philanthropic and help out his community as best as he could.
Awesome. So this museum is a nice way to give back to what sounds like a great gentleman. Um, so this museum was solely just, fully Jimmy Stewart. It's just everything.
Yep,
Wow.
fully Jimmy Stewart. There was a traveling exhibit there with actress Grace Kelly, some of her dresses that she's worn. She was in a few movies with Jimmy Stewart. So, yeah, there is a small exhibit with Grace Kelly, but 95% Jimmy Stewart.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Normally when you see museums, it's a wide selection of information and items and everything, but to have a museum all one person, that's a pretty humbling statement. That's a pretty cool thing. Pretty cool
Yeah, if
thing.
you're ever in Indiana, I highly recommend it. It's very affordable. It, takes you maybe an hour and a half to get through, so it's not too long. So yeah, if you're ever in the area, it's something to do and check out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, you're a big sightseer guy. It's always looking for new places to see. It's pretty exciting to see. There's tons of stuff out there. There's tons of museums. There's tons of exhibits and art and just. I know you go to baseball stadiums. You love visiting all the different baseball stadiums. It's really cool to hear stories that places that you've been. There's always somewhere new out there that you could explore, and it's cool to hear. It really is. Is there any other big places you've been recently that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I can't think we last time we spoke, I can't remember if I told you or not, but I went to Milwaukee. Speaking of baseball stadiums,
Yeah.
I went there in late March, early April. So we were supposed to see a baseball game, but the strike happened. So we
Mm.
ended up just doing a tour. But got to go into the field, the clubhouse, um, check out the sights of Milwaukee. So it's a
Mm.
very pretty city. It reminded me a lot of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Very friendly people, love to talk, and you can go up to a stranger and just enjoy yourself, have a good time. So it's another fun place to go if you uh, ever have the itch to travel. I would say go more in the fall, spring, or summer. The winters there
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
uh, crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah, Milwaukee's really fun. So I had a
Hmm.
good time.
So how about that? So a different rival city, a rival sports city, being friendly to a Pittsburgher, huh? Yeah, there's people out there still being friendly. How about that?
Yeah, it
Maybe
was.
it had some. Maybe it had something to do with because there wasn't a game going on, huh?
Well,
It
yeah,
was.
maybe, and also they obviously huge Green Bay Packers fans up there.
Yeah.
But they saw I was wearing a Steelers hat, and they commented on that, and they seemed to like the Steelers as well as their kind of like AFC team they root for. A lot of people
Yeah.
mentioned that they'll root for the Steelers in the
It's
AFC, and the
it's not a
Packers.
rival, so
Yeah.
hmm. That's cool. That's cool. So you how did you manage to get a tour of Milwaukee's park?
Oh, it's just something you can go on their website. Most major league ballparks offer it. So you can just, go on any club's website, and, depending on the size, they might show you more or less types of things. And the tour guide, every tour guide's different.
Right.
So we had a really good tour guide. Um, he had been to Pittsburgh a couple times in his life. So we kind of joked about that and had
Yeah.
a little bit of conversation. Um, so yeah, I mean, they even at PNC Park they offer tours. So yeah, it's if there's not a game going on, a tour is always another good route, which sometimes works out more because obviously during a game you don't really get to go on the field
No.
unless you know go streaking or something.
It's typically frowned upon if you're on the field
Yeah,
during a game.
yeah,
Yeah.
typically frowned upon. So it's a cool way to say that next time I'm watching a game and Brewers are on TV, I can always say like, oh, I've been on that field, or
Yeah.
along the lines of that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I honestly I never really knew that. I never knew you could sign up for a tour. I thought you had to be, it had to be like a special event or your, VIP treatment or something, I thought you had to be someone special to be on the field, but I guess not. That's cool. That's cool because there's got to be so many differences with all, all the ballparks and everything and to see you could sit in the stands, you could sit in the, up in the seats and watch a game, but to actually be, like you said, down on the field or walking around and see the dugout or up in the boxes or something, there's different parts of a stadium, and to see them all and to tour them all, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, depending on the tour guide, he'll tell you or she'll tell you about the history of the club, the history of the park, some, fun stories that they've gathered over the years. Um, so I'd say like almost always I get a good tour guide, and it makes it a little bit more entertaining, and you learn some things. So, and then depending on who's there with you on the tour, you can always make some new friends on the trip, and we this in Milwaukee, there are some people from Cleveland and Cincinnati, so we were joking that we just needed some Baltimore fans there, and we'd have the whole football division covered.
Yeah, the whole AFC North. Nice. So, do you normally get to go? I mean, do you normally sign up for these tours on all those stadium trips that you make, or just kind of depends?
It just
There's,
depends if it's in season or not. If it's in season, typically I'll just go to a game,
yeah,
and see it that way. But if it's out of season, a tour is a really good secondary option to do.
yeah. I mean, it sounds really fun to me. Obviously, games are fun too, but hearing, like you said, like the history, especially some of these teams that were like, for me, anything like would be out west, like these California teams or something. I don't know much about the history of those for sure. Maybe I don't even know if I know any about ones that are closer either. But to hear rich history about some of these clubs that are out in in another city, I think that'd be really cool. That's
Yeah.
really fascinating to me.
And some of them, like on the Kansas City Royals tour, they gave me like a swag bag of sorts. So I got like a Kansas City hat, a game program from that season. Other ones, you know, they don't really give you anything, but it's always interesting to see like how teams kind of, each team does a little something different, and some teams, you know, they won't necessarily take you into the clubhouse as other teams do. So yeah, every team's a little different, and
Yeah.
it's always interesting to see how, you know, how they choose to operate their tours.
Yeah, how far they go with their tour. Yeah.
Hmm.
Is it just a quick little run around the stadium, or is it really in depth? Hmm. Interesting. It's interesting. And how about how much do these tours, approximately cost, would you say?
It all depends from team to team.
Yeah.
Um, for one person, you're looking at maybe like $20, $15 to $20, but they typically will run like an hour and a half, so you're there for a good amount of time. And
Yeah.
like I said, sometimes they do give you some you know, gift items and whatnot, so that makes up for the cost as well.
I don't think that's bad at all, honestly. To see a tour of a stadium and potentially get some memorabilia or just, some history about the team. That's not bad at all.
Hmm.
That's not bad at all. Hmm. Interesting. That might be something I'm gonna have to look forward to, or look into more. To
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, even PNC offers it. I haven't. It's been a long time since I've been on that tour, but from what I remember, it was neat, and they'll take you into like the press box and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
you know, it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Have you been out to any Pirates games this year?
No, I I can't remember the last time I've been to a Pirate game. It's been a little while.
We got to get you out to one.
I know, I know. Yeah, I'm in that stage where I like the Pirates. I love the Pirates. They're my team, but it's almost, I don't know if I want to call it like a boycott or just one of those things where like I hate to support a team or an ownership group that just doesn't care about the team or the fan base. It's tough. Yeah, like I'd love to support them, but at the same time, it's like how much they really care, and that's the biggest thing. So it's tough. I know there's been a good bit of buzz again this year with some of the our young prospects coming up, especially O'Neal Cruz. um Hearing all the buzz going on and seeing the highlights and stuff, it's sparked the interest in me again. I do have an appreciation that they're still trying in a way to win and still trying to put a good team forward. It's tough, obviously with Bob Nutting and with the small market, being a small market team, it's tough to get too excited. But even all in all, it's still fun to go out to a game and just hang out and be in the atmosphere and everything. So yeah, I do. You're right. I do need to get back out and get to a game sometime. Yep, for sure. Have you been to one this year?
So far, I've been to one. Yeah, it was early season against the Nationals. Jackie Robinson Day actually, so
Oh,
that was
nice.
fun. But I'm trying to get to a couple more this season. So
Mhm.
yeah, let me know, and we'll make the trek.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So we'll probably circle back around and we can actually talk a little bit more about sports. But I do want to see, well, is there any more big sightseeing places that you've been to lately that you'd like to share? Or
Mm, none that really come to mind. None that I can think of.
okay, okay. So I guess we could talk. I do have a nice little trip planned coming up here, and well, later this week actually. So I am actually going to Montreal, Canada, and for a whole week. For a whole week. So what am I looking forward to there? Well, the biggest thing really for me is I met a great group of people, and I'm really going up to just kind of meet them and hang out with them and spend some time with them and everything. But obviously, being up in a different country and a city I've never been to, I'd love to go and see some different places. And I don't know a whole lot. I know a couple people have told me a few places that are would be great to go visit. Um, So, but they would probably have to show me because I wouldn't be able to go and navigate and do it myself. So we'll see. Maybe some people want to grab me and say, "Hey, let's go here one day" or whatever. And um, but I'm sure there's tons of different places to go sightsee. There's probably tons of, and a lot of people have told me the biggest thing I need to do is the food, of course.
Mm.
Knowing me and my stomach, where I can't eat anything, but the food has been one of the biggest things. Everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta try this, you gotta try this, you gotta try this," and I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, yeah, sure, I'll get right on that." But I definitely would like to at least try, certain things just to leave, even if it's just the taste, just to just say, "Oh yeah, okay, I see what the buzz is now with you talking about this." But it should be a really fun trip. I'm extremely excited. Um, Hopefully everything goes okay with the airfare and the trip, that end of it. I know things right now are a little hectic with flights, but hopefully that all goes well. The trip is a blast, and like I said, I'm just extremely excited to meet these people and spend some time with them and just have some laugh, even if it's just sitting at someone's house and with a group of us and playing a board game and having a few drinks or something. That's perfectly fine with me. Just getting away and spending some time with some good people is a huge plus for me. Just getting away from all the craziness and work and everything. So I'm excited.
How long of a flight is it?
Well, it was originally going to be just a little over an hour, maybe close to an hour and a half, nonstop. But now that flight got changed, and I have to stop in Toronto. So the total flight's going to be about 4 hours now, a little over 4 hours now. So I guess nonstop it would be only hour and a half. But with things right now, it's got changed and had to do a layover. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Still a lot better than driving. I think it's for driving. What I looked at, it was like close to 14, I think.
Oh wow.
So yeah, 4 hours on a plane or between two planes and a little bit of layover is still a lot better than 14 hours. So
Yeah, especially if you're doing it by yourself. That's a lot of driving to do with one person.
yeah, it sure would. It sure would. Yep.
So is this the first time meeting these folks in person?
Yep. Yep.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's first time for me flying on an airplane by myself too. So that's a little
That's awesome.
nerve-wracking, but exciting at the same time as well. So
Yeah, it's
uh,
not bad. Just get to the airport early, you'll be fine.
yeah, yeah. Especially like I keep saying now with the craziness and everything. Yeah, getting there and getting through TSA and making sure you're in the right spot, make sure your flight's still on time and everything. Yeah, for sure. And hopefully when I get up there in Canada, I can navigate myself around. I don't know. I'm hoping, as far as I know, because obviously French is a big part of the language up there, especially in Montreal and Quebec in general. But hopefully, as far as I know, they have both French and English uh, signs and information and everything. So hopefully, I'll be good.
Have you looked into like the airport? I know some airports have like a tram and it like connects to like the downtown area. Or some airports like Pittsburgh, you basically have to drive every, to and from. Have you looked into if there's like a public transit route you could take that maybe would be easy to just get off a plane, you go to the public transit place, and boom, you're into downtown or wherever you need to be
Oh, somebody's picking me up.
as someone's picking you up.
Yeah, someone's
Easy
picking.
then.
Yes, yeah. Because otherwise, yeah, I'd be like, oh, geez, where am I going? I have to get a rental car, or like you said, yeah, some kind of train or something into the city. But yeah, I'm actually getting picked up by one of the people in the group, one of my friends, and we'll take the trip back to his place after that. So, yep,
Awesome.
yeah, yep, very excited for that. So it's gonna be a blast, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that's my big trip for the year for sure.
How long are you going for?
I'm going for a whole week, so I'll be leaving, Friday and coming back the following Saturday. So making it worth it. I thought about it first. I was like, maybe I'll just go, like extended weekend, maybe 3-4 days or something. And I was like, wow, there's a lot, tons of people to see, tons of places to see. You never know when people are going to be available. Plus, it's like my vacation, so might as well just, even if a couple days are just doing nothing, relaxing. so be it. So
Yeah.
be it. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, making it worth it, and also with the cost of the flight, might as well make it worth it that way too. Don't spend 2 days flying and then 2 days there and just be like, that was a lot for that short of a trip. So yep.
Nice. Can't wait to take some pictures. I can't wait to see them on your return.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be taking lots of pictures and making some memories for sure. Yep. All right. So, as I mentioned, typically when Will and I get together, we tend to gravitate toward talking about Marvel. So we're definitely going to talk about Marvel. Some of the past productions that have just been released over the last couple of months or so. Obviously, with Bright Connections being on pause for a couple of months, it's been a while, so there's probably at least a couple, Marvel shows and movies that have come out since we last talked, and then we can talk a little bit about what's to come, and we'll see about what's continuing with Marvel, because Marvel continues to put out stuff, and most of it continues to have a success still. People love Marvel. People love comics. And it's they still in my opinion, they still do a good job with just about every show. I know some are better than others, some are a little lackluster, but they still pique my interest. I still enjoy watching them. Seeing how things connect in the whole universe, and how some characters can go from this movie to this movie, and just the fluidity between it is really cool to see. So I would have to say that the biggest movie, obviously, that was out recently is Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange and the Multitude of Madness. I just watched it when it came out on Disney Plus, which was, I believe, last weekend, or last end of last week or so, and I enjoyed it. Another Marvel movie that, in my eyes, was job well done. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, waiting to see what happened, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I really did. I really did.
Is this a spoiler free zone, or has it been out long enough to where we can kind of
I mean,
delve
it's
into?
it's been it's been in it was in the theater for a while. How many months ago, and now it's been out on Disney Plus. So hopefully, yeah, I'm hopefully
Okay,
saying
well, if you haven't,
spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler
yeah,
alert.
yeah, mute it for the next couple of seconds if you haven't seen yet. But what were your thoughts on the Illuminati with Professor X and
Yeah,
John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic?
that was interesting. I heard that name get thrown around before I saw the movie, and I was like, I don't know. See, I know for you, about all this stuff because you read more, you read all the comics and everything. But for me, I know the characters, but the group Illuminati, I had no idea. I had no idea who and what it's made up of or anything like that. So obviously they were in the alternate universe. They were in an alternate universe, I should say. And I mean, it was definitely weird seeing Professor X in a Marvel movie like that. I thought it was cool. Um, Mr. Fantastic, he gets a lot of heat, if you will, on his character. I wouldn't say I hated his character or anything like that, but it was just one of those like, nah, not really too excited about it. But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to see a different group, of superheroes, if you will, in a different universe. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. I think that Marvel and Disney do a great job in listening to their fans and what the fans want and going off of that. Um, it's been a rumor now for a number of years that John Krasinski, one of the people, you've probably seen him from The Office, they've wanted him to play Mr. Fantastic for years now. So um, even if it's just this one time, even if they are making a Fantastic Four movie, so even if he doesn't necessarily play him in the movie, it was cool to at least see him in a small role and kind of give that audience a nod, so to
Yeah.
speak.
nice little Easter egg or whatever you want to call it, yeah, to the
Yeah.
audience, like you said. People wanted to see something, and they at least throw it in for a handful of minutes. Yeah, I
And
don't.
Professor X was the Professor X from like the old animated cartoon from when we were kids with the hover chair and stuff.
Yeah.
That was cool. And they had the they had that playing for a few seconds. So that was a nice little Easter egg as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I get with John Krasinski playing it. It just I think it's weird because you know him so much as from The Office as Jim from The Office, and to see him in a role like that where it's like a action hero or superhero, I think it throws you off a little bit. Um, I wouldn't say obviously he's not. It's not that he would do a bad job at it. He's an actor. He did a good job. It's just it's like one of those things, like when you get Daniel Radcliffe playing in another movie. It's like what's Harry Potter doing in this movie? It's just one of those things like there's actors that they get such a prominent role and they get that that character portrayed so deeply that anytime you see them somewhere else, that's all you picture is that one character. It's crazy how that happens, but I mean, when you're such a big character in a big movie, you're gonna be labeled as that character, potentially your whole life. It's crazy.
Did you ever watch A Quiet Place?
No, I have
He
not.
was really good in that, John Krasinski. He was it's like an action, kind of like a action, not really a horror, but like a drama. Um, I recommend it. They made a second one which was really good too, but he's the director of both of them. But in
Okay,
the second one, he's only the director, so you don't really see him on screen. But yeah, he was really good in. Check out A Quiet Place when you get a chance.
okay, okay. All right, I will look into that. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts overall on the movie, I thought it was really cool. I thought they, thrown in this new character. I'm blanking on her name now.
American
America.
Kids. Yeah.
Yeah, America Chavez, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, she pretty powerful character. But she just, didn't have control of her powers yet, and having a teacher, if you will, or a mentor of Doctor Strange. Not a, it's an interesting mentor to have because he's not the most open character out there, and the most friendly character out there. But it was a cool dynamic to see those two. Um, and then, of course, the whole concept of Wanda being now. Would you consider Wanda the bad guy? The villain, or was it just that she was striving so hard to get to her children that it came across as evil?
Yeah, I think for the purposes of the movie, she was the antagonist.
Yeah.
Dude, it was great. I liked it. It was really enjoyable. Um, it is always one of those tropes in comics that if you don't see the body, then is the character really dead? And uh, she might be gone, but who knows if she'll be back at some point because we never saw the actual body at the end. So
Right.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, I would agree. I wouldn't necessarily think she's done. I think, once she destroyed the Darkhold, that's one thing. But to say that she's fully gone as a character, Wanda, I wouldn't assume anything. Never assume. Never
mhm,
assume.
not in comics, that's for sure.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I know a lot of people really like Wanda's character, and probably more, maybe not necessarily more, but I know a lot of people liked her character as Wanda, and then when she became Scarlet Witch, it's a whole different dynamic. But it's still really intriguing and cool to see. Um, I know, from the comics and everything that Scarlet Witch is one of the, if not, like the most powerful person out there. And do you think her power was portrayed enough, even in the movie?
I thought it was portrayed really well. They've definitely kind of counterbalanced where when she was first introduced in the MCU, it was like she wasn't that powerful, and now I think they've corrected that to show her as she should be. Um, the kill scenes, and with going back to the Illuminati, the kill scenes there were really interesting, and it's not a horror movie by any stretch, but there were horror elements, I would say, throughout the movie. Um, and so, yeah, like some of those kills, it was really different from what Marvel has done in the past. So I was happy they were
Sure.
able to kind of deviate a little bit and make it a little more adult oriented.
Yeah, a little darker, if you will. Yeah, that's a good point. And the way that she just handled those Illuminati, I mean, it was like nothing. And those are supposed to be the best superheroes in that universe, and she just brushed them off. So yeah, it definitely showed her strength and her power. I don't know. I know hearing about her in the past, just the Scarlet Witch and the things that she could do and the power that she has. It was just like I know at the fight. What am I thinking? The fight scene at the temple at the beginning or near the beginning. I feel like she could have just easily taken care of that. But I guess there was a large large group of what would you consider them sorcerers? I guess large group of sorcerers defending it. So I guess I don't know. It's tough. It's tough, but I thought you could definitely see that she was extremely powerful, um, and her character. I think, like you said, that the change from her at the beginning when she's introduced to now. I think that obviously is a big, um, very attributed to the fact that she lost vision and she, came in contact with the Darkhold. And I think that really opened up her powers. Yeah, so makes sense. Which maybe they had that planned out the whole time. You never know. As writers, you never know what's going on in their head.
Yeah.
There's writers out there that are thinking movies or however many episodes in a show or whatever, they're thinking ahead so far. So yeah, but like I said, it's tough to say if you want to consider her necessarily the bad guy or just someone like a mother trying to get to her children. But I think the fact that she was willing to kill or willing to go to such extremes to do so, I think that's where it kind of goes over the edge and she does become the villain of sorts. So um, it's a change. It's definitely a big change from her Wanda days, where she, especially in WandaVision, where she was loving mother and trying to figure things out and everything. She's super sweet and everything, and then all of a sudden, the switch flicks, and she's crazy lady trying to do whatever she can. It was cool. It's cool. I really enjoyed the movie. And when they were going through the portals to all the different all the different universes, that was pretty cool too. Seeing these different universes. Yep. But yeah, all in all, I really I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot. Do you think there's gonna be um any more? I guess it's hard to say. I'm sure they're thinking about it, and we'll decide at a later time if there's gonna be another Doctor Strange. But as of right now, I assume we're looking forward to what's technically next. What will be the next one?
Movie wise, Thor comes out this week.
That's right. Yep. Thor: Love and Thunder comes out on Friday. Actually, day I'm leaving. Yeah, you're right. That's the next big one. And what it's mostly Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah,
kind of teaming up. So
and
that's
great dynamic, comedically speaking, between Thor and Star Lord. So I'm
yeah,
excited to see all the humor between those two because they play off each other so well.
yeah, Yeah, I mean, we got snippets of it in past movies, and it was great. It was great. So yeah, looking forward to that a lot. It should be another great one. Thor movies, I mean they're great. I like Thor movies as well. Um, I mean it's gonna be pretty funny to see again Thor. Last we saw him, this huge fat dude and out of shape, and then all of a sudden I think in this new one coming up, flips the switch again and goes back to huge bulky Thor that we know from past, and um, he's out of his slump and back to being the crazy strong the god that we know, the god of thunder that we know.
Yep. Natalie Portman's character Jane comes back.
Yes.
Yeah, Natalie Portman will be in this one after not appearing. I don't think she's been in since the first one, if I remember correctly.
No, she was in the second one.
Okay, second
Yeah,
one.
she was in the second one because she got infected by the, I don't know what you want to call it, symbiote almost kind of ordeal. Um, yeah, she
I
was.
think the plan is for her to take over as Thor moving forward. I think this will probably be Hemsworth's last movie.
That's what I'm kind of wondering if that's why they brought her character in with almost looks like the same powers as Thor. Um, so yeah, maybe I think I did hear that same thing, that same rumor that it's Hemsworth's last go around as Thor. So yeah, might be a transition for future Thor actor who's playing Thor. Yeah, might
Go.
be, it'd be weird to see, but I think we'd get used to it after a while.
Yeah, Natalie Portman's a great actress. So I'm sure she'd be fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I know a lot of people don't like her character Jane though. I don't know why. I don't have a problem with her. I mean, it's just who she is, and you know, it's she's just she's just another person. But yeah, I think it'd be all right. I mean, almost it's almost kind of like the transition for Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Transition for Black Panther being switched from Chadwick Boseman to, I don't know the character, the girl, but kind of like that. It's a changing of the guard, if you will.
Yeah, and they've announced that the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie will be the last iteration of that crew. So, actors only want to do those projects for so long, and they want to do different things, and it's understandable.
Unfortunately for us, especially when we like them a lot, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was great. But yeah, you're right. It is what it is, and like you said, actors want to move on. Strangely enough, you're in Marvel Cinematic Universe for long enough, and you're like, all right, I'm getting kind of tired of this as an actor, but the show goes on. Just change, like you said, just change it from one actor to another or so. Yeah, and it was weird. I remember seeing the first trailer for Thor when Natalie's character Jane just flies down from the sky with lightning flying around her and all the the armor of Norse god, and was just like, whoa, what? It was a strange sight, that's for sure. It's definitely caught me off guard. I don't know. Is that in the comics at all?
Yeah, she takes over the mantle of Thor for quite some time, and yeah, it definitely they can connect it to the comics.
There you go. Okay. See, like again, they, as much as they have the freedom to do what they want, the fact that they still follow the comics, pretty closely on a lot of things. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool because I mean it can be tough. It can be tough to do that, to follow the comics, to a T.
Yeah.
To keep things interesting enough in a movie setting, because comics and movies are different. You know, comics can only portray so much, and movies can only follow some. I don't know. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough doing that. That job.
Yeah, yeah. They did. If you're watching Miss Marvel, they did change her powers a little bit, which
Okay.
has irked some fans. But yeah, you're right. For the most part, they stay pretty faithful to the comics.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched Miss Marvel yet. I'm sure I'll check it out. I know it hasn't gotten very good reviews, and a lot of people haven't liked it too much. But I'll give it its due diligence, and I'll give it a shot and see. Check it out at least in case there's any connecting factors, to what's next. So you never know. You never know. Speaking of what's next, we've got we have the next movie is Thor. We still have a couple new Marvel shows coming out on Disney Plus. With what She-Hulk is one. What's another one? Blanking now. She-Hulk is the next one, I think.
Yeah, She-Hulk's the next one. Not a show, but Black Panther comes out later this year. I think they're doing some sort of Halloween special around October.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is that well,
holiday special?
Yeah, I think that's Christmas though. I think
Yeah.
they're also doing a Halloween special.
Okay.
Like, they're gonna start to get into like werewolves and
there's a Morbius movie. Oh no, that already came out.
Morbius came out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that already came out. Never mind. I haven't
it
seen
was
that yet.
awful.
It was what?
It was awful.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that honestly that's all I'm finding right now. I thought there was another show, but I don't know. That's all I'm seeing right now. It's just the She-Hulk. Must be another one at the very beginning of 2023. Maybe.
Yeah, probably right.
Yeah. But yeah, so She-Hulk, I don't know. That should be interesting. I haven't seen too much. I think I only saw one trailer so far, and I guess she's supposedly like an attorney as her day job, and crazy Hulk as her late night job or secondary job.
Side hustle.
Side hustle. Yep. I don't know. I'm sure I'll watch it. I'm sure I'll be intrigued. The Hulk hasn't been even our original Hulk or whatever you want to call it, the male Hulk, I guess, hasn't really been the biggest of characters in especially like among the Avengers or in general in the MCU. He's there, but I feel like he doesn't get as much recognition as some of the other ones.
Yeah, there's a whole rights issues still that revolves around like usage of the Hulk and stuff, which
Really?
Yeah, Universal owns the rights, so Marvel has to like can only use like Bruce Banner or has to like creatively like get permission from Universal, and it's a whole thing.
Of course. Of course. Okay. I guess that could be why then we don't see he doesn't get as much recognition or we don't see as much of him. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah.
Did you watch Moon Knight?
Yeah, I did watch Moon Knight. Yeah, I like Moon Knight. Moon Knight was good. I think again it was one of those ones that was supposed to jump to the darker side of and be a little bit more, like you said, adult oriented. I think they turned away from that at the last second, and it wasn't really as much. I mean, I'm not disappointed by it. I still thought it was good, but I could definitely see how the character and the storyline could go that direction. And I know, I guess at the very end, of season one, they left it open for that to be the case. So, yeah. What about you? Did you like it?
Yeah, I really liked it. hopefully we see more of Moon Knight in the greater universe, because it was pretty self-contained. There wasn't really
Yeah.
much reference to other things going on. So I'll be curious to see uh how much they utilize him moving forward.
Yeah, if they incorporate him into other movies or other people into his, show or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. But you never know with any of these new characters. That's when that's the whole transition thing from the original group to, now this new all these new characters. Do they become their own group or do we intermingle? Or it's kind of how it's been so far. It's kind of been intermingling, like kind of weeding out some of the old characters, old group, into adding some of these new guys in. It's kind of been combined like that.
Yeah, and we know that's the case for Miss Marvel, that she's going to play a big role in the second Captain Marvel coming out,
Okay.
along with Monica Rambeau, who's from
Mhm.
WandaVision.
Right.
So we definitely know there's going to be some interconnectedness there. Some people have even uh, theorized that maybe Captain Marvel will show up in like the last episode of Miss Marvel or something.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it makes sense, but we'll see. Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, that's the Marvel universe right now. We had Doctor Strange, we had Moon Knight, some of the movies and shows, a couple more coming out this year, but yeah, and like you said, like Black Panther coming out later. So yeah, should be exciting. Still, they're still continuing to go, man. As much as they say, they say some people say it's too much, and some people say, that first group's done. It's done. It's dying. They still continue to put out stuff, and it still continues to pique interest. Pique interest. So it piques my interest. I'm interested. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Give me Marvel. Give me more Marvel. Come on. Yeah. So I'm excited. Looking forward to it. All right. Let's wrap up today's episode with some bright stories of the week. Bright stories of the week. Best part of the day, best part of the episode. Let's bring some brightness. Let's share some stories. So I do have a little story from my weekend here. So one of my very best friends, Liz, who's been on the show a few times, she got married on Friday, and Saturday we had a celebration, just like a little picnic type thing. Had some games, some food, just got together, everything, and so they had it was since it was at the groom's parents' house. There was not really anywhere for people to park, so we all had to park at like a park and ride a couple minutes away, and we had a shuttle, bringing us back and forth. Well, the shuttle only ran till like 8:30 at night. So everybody's like, well, I don't necessarily want to leave by 8 o'clock. And so some people decided they were going to stay and try to figure out a way to, I guess, go get their car later on at night. Well, I was luckily enough, I went and got my car early enough, went on one of the last shuttles, and got my car and brought it to the house. And at that point, enough people had left that there was some room to park. And so as the night drew later on, and one of those people was one of our mutual friends, Tara, and she was like, well, to the groom, or to the bride, Liz, she's like, how am I going to get my car? Can somebody take me to get my car? And Liz was gonna take her, and I was like, no, you're the bride. You stay here. You enjoy your party. I'll go take them to get their car, because I was getting ready to head out at that point too. So, they were all appreciative, and didn't Liz didn't have to worry about it, and they were able to go get the car. So just a little thing, just hop in my car. We'll go get your car, and we'll take off. And I could tell they're appreciative of it. Appreciative of it, and just like, thanks, BK, and appreciate it. And um, just a little gesture. You just helping somebody out. Make things a little bit easier on others, and not have to worry about it. And so we all got out there safely and didn't have to worry about it. So, cool story.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
the little things.
Yep. Yep.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let the bride leave her party and go drive people to get their car. And nah, get out of here. Yeah, so, what about you, Will? You got a nice story to share for us?
Yeah. So my partner and I will sit on the porch some nights when it's nice out, and we've noticed that there's an older couple that goes around the neighborhood and picks up litter and trash and whatnot. And we talk to them and say hi, and it just like seems like it's something that's important to them and just something that they like to do, and it's probably I don't want to say like a date night for them, but it's a way for them to connect with and just talk. And
Yeah.
it's really nice and a really cool thing that they obviously don't have to do. So they don't get any credit for it and any thanks. So it's just something small like that they're doing a service for their community, and um, that's a nice thing that they go out of their way to do. And just wanted to give them a little shout out and say thanks, because yeah, you don't always see that. So
No, no. And you know what? It always seems like it's the older people that do that type of stuff. And not necessarily, I guess I can't say it's always, but it's cool to see. It's something that you don't recognize enough, that somebody obviously, maybe they have, like you said, it's their date night, or it's their time that they spend together. Well, they decide to spend that time giving back, to the community, and just cleaning up the place a little bit. And it's, yeah. So obviously you guys recognize it, and obviously you said that they don't get the thanks. Well, apparently they do. If you guys see them every day and you talk to them, and I'm sure you guys are telling them thanks, and you're showing appreciation for them doing that. So hopefully, I'm sure they appreciate that from you guys. That's cool. That's a really nice story. Um, seeing people just recognize little things that can be done to brighten the world up a little bit, brighten the community up, brighten the place up a little bit, and just make it cleaner and nicer and friendlier. Nobody wants to see trash lying around. Pick it up. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really awesome. That's a great story. That's a
yeah,
great story. Maybe it'll inspire some other people when you do a date night. You can have a
yeah,
date. You have a date night. Hey, we're gonna go pick up some trash. Sound like a good night. But honestly, as much as I kind of joke about that, I mean, like you said, it's them spending time together. Like they're walking the street, they're getting some exercise. They're just talking to each other and spending time together. And it doesn't and that's what's cool about necessarily a date. You can't do anything. You could do anything on a date. It's the time spent together that makes it worth it.
yep, very well put.
So it's all about the time spent together. Doesn't matter what you're doing. So
Well, I enjoyed our time together today.
thanks, buddy. It was a good date, huh?
Yeah, always.
Always. Always. All right, guys. That'll do it for today's episode. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Will, thank you as always for chatting with me and catching up and talking about Marvel and everything. So it was good hearing your stories about a couple of the cool places you've been, over the last couple of months and everything. So looking forward to more next time we chat. I'm sure you'll have more places you would have been to by then, I'm sure. So
Yeah, I think this was my fourth time on Bright Connections, and I'm looking forward to many more. I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures from Quebec. So
yep.
hope you have fun, safe travels,
Thank
and
you.
I know we'll talk soon.
Yep. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful and bright week. As always, be sure to do your best to do something nice for somebody. Make a bright story of your own, and don't forget to share it with me so we can talk about it with my guests, and just spread a little light and a little reminder that there's still stuff going on in the world. Still lots of good deeds, kind deeds, great people out there doing nice things each and every day. So don't get down by all the bad. There's always going to be tough stuff going on in the world, but there's always going to be bright people. There's always going to be good deeds happening as well. So focus on them, continue to make them of your own, and we'll get through all these crazy times together. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful and bright week. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.